Good afternoon again, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
This is kind of a crapshoot, so let's see if it works as well as I hope it's going to work.
I think you got it.
Okay, President Ammons, considering today's announcement of another year of suspension for the Marching 100, what would it take to bring the Marching 100 back after the 2012-2013 suspension? And what conditions could be implemented to bring the band back sooner, if any? And are you considering the possibility of bringing them back sooner?
Well, first of all, there's no consideration to bring them back soon. The suspension will go at least through the 2012-2013 academic year. And during that period, there will be the implementation of measures to ensure that the band operates the way that it is representative of Florida A&M University and its great legacy. We have considered some measures that we think should be in place. For instance, academic standards, standards around how much practice time students would be allowed to participate, and a number of measures that will grow out of conversations that we've already had, as well as conversations that we're having with other band programs that have won the Sutler Trophy. We also want to wait and see the results of the investigations that are still underway. But it is imperative that we have in place all of the measures. For instance, how long can a student play in the band? I mean, how many years should a student play in the band? And these and other measures must be implemented, and we see the impact on the behavior of student musicians who are in the band before the suspension is lifted.
Okay, thank you very much, President. What are the financial implications for FAMU in terms of existing and future contracts for performances, and who will shoulder the financial responsibility for the band failing to meet its obligations, since it won't be able to play for at least another academic year? And what are the university's plans for recruitment with that one of its biggest recruitment tools?
Well, first of all, we're in conversations now with organizations that we have contracts with that include the Marching 100. We are working with them. I think there may be one other contract with Oklahoma. Does Oklahoma?
I think it's Oklahoma this year.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma has a clause in there about the band. For instance, I think there may be one guaranteed amount with the band and one without the band.
That's correct.
And we will communicate with them on exercising the option without the band. There will be a financial impact, but I think the image of the university outweighs the financial impact of not having the Marching 100. I just think that it is so important that we have all of the measures in place. We have to get a new band director. There are new members of the staff that will be hired. And again, getting final reports from investigations that are going on. I just think that it's so important that we do these things before we bring the Marching 100 back.
Okay, specifically about point 2, who's going to have to pay, and do you have an idea of how much we'll be in debt for in terms of these contractual obligations, particularly with Oklahoma? Or how much will we stand to lose, sorry?
That's one of the things that we're working on now, to get a good projection on what the financial impact would be. But let me say this to you, and I hope that you and the students will take heed to this. The football program, the members of the football team, the coaches have been model citizens. 15 of those guys graduated this year. We have not had any legal issues with the football team. And I would hope that our fan base would support the football team even though the Marching 100 would not perform during the halftime shows. I think the football program, the student athletes, the coaches, the staff deserve the loyalty of this university community because again, they have done everything that we've asked them to do. They've represented us well. They have taken seriously the classroom obligations, and they have graduated. So, I mean, I think that is worth supporting.
Okay, thank you. SGA President Marissa West this morning committed the student body to helping get the message out there, helping in any way she could. How would you solicit the help of these influential students in conveying the university's message?
Well, like before, the SGA administration, cabinet, and all of the members of the student body who would like to participate are going to be at the table. We must have the support and ideas coming from the student body because I think there is tremendous value in peer relationships and to see that we have students who are willing to give their ideas and their input to this very serious issue, I think will send a clear message to the student body as a whole that we value our students and we value their input.
And when will you be making an official statement to the student body, if at all?
Well, we have a letter that will be going out, if it hasn't gone out already, that will go out to all of the major stakeholder groups to include the students of Florida A&M University. Of course, this morning, as you heard, President and Trustee West was on the call. I spoke with her over the weekend. She was fully informed of my final decision as it relates to the Marching 100 prior to this meeting. And I will continue to honor that commitment to keep the student body informed of any actions that we take. But we will be sending a letter out, if it hasn't gone already, to the student body.
Okay, thank you. Considering that FAMU's big anniversary is coming up in a couple of months, what will university plan to do without Bill 100? How will this affect the activities you have scheduled? What are the alternatives? What's going on?
It's a big challenge, huge challenge. In fact, last homecoming, the gala that we have during the homecoming weekend that will lead up to the big gala this year honored the Marching 100. We fully intended to have as a vital part of this celebration the Marching 100. We've never been here before. I mean, this is new territory. You talk about not only having homecoming, but having a significant milestone in the history of the university, 125th anniversary celebration for the university, and not have the Marching 100. That is going to be a huge, huge void that we're going to have to figure out on how we feel.
Okay, but you haven't decided anything in terms of...
No, there is a committee. There is a 125th anniversary celebration committee that is working now to finalize all of the plans for that week of celebration. And probably the one thing that's keeping them the busiest is figuring out how we do this without the 100.